All right, good morning, and thanks for joining us today. This is our first official Primo NDE migration call, our project kickoff, so to speak. So this is going to provide some general overview information that you can share with your team, um, and have links to some resources. And then this presentation will also, I'm going to include a little bit of live comparison between current Primo and new Primo in case you haven't had a chance to take a look at stuff just yet. So without further ado, so today, here's what we're going to cover. Again, this is a very high level overview. Next week, we'll start getting into the actual migration process and the guidance for that. So, what is NDE? It is the branding name for a remake of the Primo Discovery layer. Ex Libris is calling it the new Discovery Experience. It is still Primo V. It is just a new architecture of Primo V. So JavaScript has evolved quite a bit since Primo V was released just 9 years ago, if maybe a little bit more, 10. But it has evolved enough that the architecture that current Primo is built on just can no longer meet the evolving usability expectations and accessibility guidelines that are required for libraries globally. Ex Libris has also been doing a lot around linked open data. That was not really something that current Primo could take advantage of. On this slide, I've also included just a few of the things that kind of stand out about the differences between current Primo and NDE in how the search activities of users kind of shaped the new interface as far as different locations of buttons, how search results look, new results labels, a natural language search, because of course we can't make a new product without AI. They also have an enhanced user area. So, if you have that function live in your Primo where your users can log in and take a look at their loans, things like that. Also, if you go into the view configuration, you'll see that some of the configuration choices have changed or been simplified. Some things that used to be customization are now controlled within configuration, and certain customizations have accessibility requires kind of integrated into them. So as far as like color contrast and sizing, certain code just like won't work because they're like, nope, that would not be accessible. The new Discovery Experience has its own VPAT and accessibility information that is available on the Ex Libris website. And they are continuing to do development around accessibility. There should, in fact, be an expanded compliance report coming later this summer based on development that has happened since the compliance report that came out last year. So we will be taking a look at that. So that is what NDE is, and why it's happening and why we are talking about it. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into 2 different tabs and kind of try to show you the different styling around things. So here we have the current version of the landing page or home page. This is Big Ben's. You can see it is minimally kind of customized here. I, in fact, updated it last week because I went to look at it and things were broken. We have some of the new basic search filters that have been added to functionality in the last year or so. But overall, content is a little bit dull. It looks like the back end of a system. Here we have the new landing page or home page, still very uncustomized. I haven't done anything in here, so still the Clarivate logo, not Big Ben logo. I didn't even change any of these little tile buttons. But you can see it looks more like a website that students are used to interacting with, and gives multiple access points into information about your library. The idea is that it very well could take the place of a library website, and they're actually developing increasingly easy ways to kind of customize and manage these sections. So that's what that looks like. Let's go ahead and do a kind of standard search on a broad topic so we can see this and compare. So one thing you'll see is the scopes being enabled for search. That scope is right before the search field, as opposed to like being after and next to the search button, which is a usability change and an accessibility change so that people can make that choice before entering their search terms. And now I want to do something, it might look a little bad in Zoom, but I want to demonstrate here how the space on this page is not taken up. The third middle is results page. In NDE, they are taking up more of the landscape. So again, it just looks like a more modern interface that users are used to. Most of the configurations I try to kind of keep the same, so we'd have a direct one-to-one here, but we may see some different things. So as we scroll down through our results, we lose our search bar at the top. We have our results information, but for students who are new to an academic library environment, these pieces of information kind of just float under the title and resource type. So if you notice here, as we scroll down, we keep our search bar at the top. It looks exactly like the search bar that they already used on the landing page. And we keep all of the quick filters. And then we can also see that in the results here, by So now they understand, oh, that's author information. This obviously is publisher, not like by, but it's a journal thing. We have published on dates. These new labels, like many labels, obviously in Discovery, are customizable in the Discovery label tables. We also never lose these filters. They hang out on the side instead of, well, this one is sticking all right, but sometimes they do weird things depending on your code. One of the big things that the usability folks had changed is where sort is, which, to be honest, I kind of forgot that there was a sort function because it's over here by the filters as opposed to the with the actual results list. So that is a tool that may be commonly used and isn't going to be where you expect it to be in this new one. It is possible to continue to have filters open by default. Initially, that was not an option, but too many people are used to having filters there right away. If you close the filter, you can see how the results take up the full page. There is no option to kind of close down these filters and just look at results in current Primo. If we look at a record, and I want to find like an article or something so that we've got more details. So how about this? I'm just going to say peer reviewed, use a quick filter there. And we've got journals, journal. Okay, article. All right, so we've got tags here right up by resource type. Looking for the exact same article, Primo. Yeah, I haven't put the libkey stuff in this one. Okay, so here, those tags are down below the item information instead of right up at top. We've got, this is what they're calling a description. There's also the option to show a full snippet, which is this read, like read more, get more detail. So a lot more ability to kind of allow the user to explore a record before directly clicking all the way into it. If we click on this, we can go through results with the buttons at the top, easily go back to the results page. We've got our kind of standard button tools here. Record looks exactly the same at the top, but the record information is taking up most of the screen when it opens up. Instead of these up-down buttons, so that is kind of the difference there. One of the other big changes is advanced search. So when you open advanced search in existing Primo, your basic search information does autofill, but then it disappears if you scroll down. If we add a term and we search, it collapses, and this is pretty darn tiny. And again, it disappears if we scroll down. This one, if we do advanced search, right now it is not auto-populating with the current basic search, but they say that that is coming. We'll do the same search again, but you can see you still have the results behind there that are pretty visible. So we do search, and we can see right on top in a nice highlighted box what the search is, a very simple edit and go back to simple search. So, like that language that users are going to be a little more like accustomed to, going to make sense to them. And when we scroll down, all of that stays sticky. So the last thing I want to show you, so we're not taking up too much time, is I do want to actually talk about language, because that's a cool thing. So to change language in current Primo, you have to go up to the menu, you have to go to the display language, you have to pick the other language. So, and then it goes, yay. To change language in new, it's right here, visible, one click. So that is a really great usability change and a good reason to get our languages activated in configuration. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm gonna switch that back. And now so current login. Oh, I'm logged in now, and I can go to my library account information. We'll look at my loans, and you can see we've got all these tabs. Again, it's not great. It looks like a back end of a system, and isn't that attractive. Now, if we sign in, we've got this new one. It should go straight through this time. Wonderful. And we're signed in. And now also one of the big changes is, instead of having the whole name up here, which here I'll narrow down the screen again, which can, if someone has a really long name, kind of take up a weird amount of menu bar space. You just have this little initials icon. You click on that, you go to My Library Activity, and now you can see your saved records on the same thing, your search history on the same thing, all of your loan activity on the same thing. And you're not having to switch between all of these different things. Now, Overview does have some of this, your loan activity, but it doesn't have the saved searches. If you wanted saved searches or favorites, you have to go back up here, which brings you to like this search history page. Let's see what this one looks like. So we can do it here, or we can do it here. Haven't really been in here long enough for it to do it. So we have our saved records. Let's see what's saved. But here we gotta go here. But we've got this, like weird advanced search thing at the top, which is not what we asked for. We asked for our saved records. So enhanced user area. So yeah, I'm not going to go into settings, because then more of my personal details will be in this recorded meeting, but users are able to update their phone number, their like SMS phone number, change preferred name. I'm doing some testing around that just to see kind of like what happens in the back end when you do that. But it's pretty cool. I also believe they've made it an option that you can change the display order of the name, so it displays first name, last name instead of last name, first name, can't remember at the moment. So that, yes, okay, user screen, results, searching, landing page, more or less, yeah. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the changes. Obviously, it's not all of them. Some of the other changes you'll notice if you go into view configuration. So we've got a brand new tab called landing page. I'm not getting into any details today, but there are new options in general. There's a little bit different options, I think, in advanced search, in brief results, in brief record display. This one's pretty much the same. This one's pretty much the same. Landing page, completely new. The low code, no code option. So, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty similar to our experience working with regular Primo views. So that's my little live demo. So I'll make this so we can see everything. This is kind of my visualization, very general, of migration steps. I will be providing significantly more guidance and details and instructions, and we will have co-working sessions based on cohorts. But just to give you an idea of how I envision moving us through this process, I want everyone to have a test view to start getting familiar with some of the new features. If you need to talk to certain stakeholders, be that instructional librarians, outspoken faculty, a library advisory committee on campus, student focus groups. What I don't suggest is trying to start a giant feedback channel if you don't already have some kind of feedback channel in place. But it's good to kind of share out what you're learning. There will be a configuration worksheet that you can work through so that you know that you're kind of looking in all of those places where there are new or different features. And then we'll make sure that you have a test view that is configured the way you think that you want it so that you can start looking at that. Mix panel is the new analytics platform for Primo statistics only. It will not take the place of Alma Analytics, and it's a platform that is designed to analyze data around web usage. So user journey, activities, things like that just are not represented well in Alma Analytics. Encourage you to start promoting the migration as early as possible. If you would like to have kind of a beta NDE available for users, but hey, not familiar with this, don't want to use it, head back to our original Primo. That is absolutely a possibility. And then there's the official going live with NDE. And then if you want to do some, after action stakeholder feedback and tweaks, of course, that's an option. When I say beta NDE, test NDE, and then go live, I want to point something out, and you will see it in all the documentation that I start sharing out here. We have a column that tells you whether the view is a classic view or an NDE view. We also have this column that says, is this a live view? Under no circumstances, please, please, please. I mean, like, I wish they had a giant alert bar, but they didn't. Do not switch to live until you are ready to switch to live, because all of your Primo links will redirect to the new interface. So like all your permalinks to books and things like that. And you will not be able to go back. Your old Primo views will still be like available, but things will just, it's bad. Don't do it. Don't do it until you're absolutely ready. So at the top of all of my documentation, it will be like, do not switch to live. Do not switch to live. Do not switch to live until you're ready. So if you have people who accidentally click buttons a lot, don't give them access to configure views so that they do not accidentally go live. So that's what I'm talking about when I say a test view versus going live. Now, these migration steps will be carried out more or less in cohort fashion. I'd love to get people as grouped up as possible, and like not have a cohort 5, have everybody done in cohort 4. But I'm going to be a realist, and also an optimist, because I don't have a cohort 6 on here, because January of 2028, current Primo is fully sunsetted and you have to be migrated. I, of course, am not going to recommend waiting until the last minute. Okay, so I would really like to have everyone live fall of 2027, so we have those last few months to make any kind of necessary tweaks that we need. So as you can see, the pre-prep, we'll go back and forth here a little bit, the reviewing and surveying and kind of looking at this worksheet that I'm going to make, that can start at any time, but it should be completed before you join a cohort for the actual like preparation quarter. Is it redundant to have pre-prep and prep? Yes, but I couldn't come up with anything more clever. I've got the feature releases in here just so that we kind of keep an eye on when new functionalities roll out. Those, of course, are always opportunities for codes to break. So sandbox use is going to be highly encouraged so that we can preview those releases. And I also have in here the development of promotion and instructional materials, whether you're doing that locally or kind of grabbing it off of my LibGuide. Things will start showing up this fall, so that everyone can start communicating about that. So cohort 1 will start kind of doing the serious prep work this summer. I've got a couple volunteers for that already. Cohort 2 will start prepping during the fall quarter to hopefully, go live before winter quarter works. And basically that pattern continues through all of next calendar year. So what are your options for kind of getting all of this done? This is my how much I recommend this kind of path forward. So on the left column, we see keeping kind of basic branding, color choices, adding your local links. And included in that is setting up your AskWA libchat module, widget, as well as your libkey. I will do that for you, no problems. That's included. Having yeah, so just keeping things kind of easy. Uh, Middle column, little bit more advanced CSS, and doing a little bit more advanced HTML on that new landing page. And then finally, with this new architecture, uh, we're no longer going to be throwing JavaScript into customization packages. There's actually what they're calling add-ons that are kind of like centralized JavaScript that are going to get pulled in based on what you set up in configuration. So libkey is currently one of those custom add-ons, but it's a widely used, and I will have, set it up 28 times, so easily. There may be other add-ons that people develop that Ex Libris promote. I don't yet know what those look like, and some of them are kind of weirdly complicated, and I'm not a JavaScript expert. So left to right, we kind of have how much persnicketyness happens in your setup. Top to bottom, we have how much help do you need from me. So if your library is small, short staffed, doesn't have the expertise, doesn't have the bandwidth, has someone going on sabbatical, all of the above, I am absolutely willing to work with you to kind of do all the heavy lifting. I will need some information from you, but I'll get in there and make it happen. In the middle, we have the I do some of that stuff, but also would like to have people who are locally familiar with how we are configuring and customizing your environment so that you can communicate with the rest of your team. And then on the bottom, the we're good. I've got an awesome IT person or a cool JavaScript expert in the library and hours for a project, and will handle everything myself. So I believe that the best option for our libraries is for me to work with you to get basic branding and local resources into new and new NDE. Again, it's redundant. Now, I'm not opposed to me doing everything, but I can't do it for everybody. So let's not exhaust me. I'm not super keen on doing a bunch of advanced styling or HTML work, but I can do it, and I am willing to. The reason I'm not suggesting handling everything completely locally and not involving me is not because I just love to do coding work or have all the time in the world or think I'm some kind of genius, but it will make it a lot easier if there is turnover in your IT or in your library, if I kind of know what is going on, why you made the decisions that you made. And that allows me to kind of sustainably help you. So it is, of course, your library's decision how much to involve me and how much to configure and customize your environments. But I want to make this as sustainable as possible. And so that is how I'm framing all of my decisions and planning around this migration. Also, I just really liked all the fun stars. So here is the big questions that I want you to kind of think about before next week's open call, where we talk more in detail. So who is going to be on your local team doing this work? Do you have someone in IT who has been previously involved? Do you have a usability librarian or discovery librarian? Is your, like, are you systems and discovery? Everybody is structured so differently. I recommend not making the team too big, because then you got to make a big team meet and come to a consensus. And that's what stakeholder surveying is for, even if it's informal. You don't need a huge team to include a lot of different viewpoints. Looking at those people, how much time do you really have? Please let me help you. I don't want this to make you crazy. Please impact students. How much expertise do you have? How comfortable are you with looking at labels, inspecting page code, debugging label code, looking at JavaScript? Not writing JavaScript, we're not doing that, but sometimes we might need to look at. What do we want to keep from V? So when we look up here, like, do you love all your links up here? Those can be completely translated exactly as is into your NDE. Do you love having the QR code up here? Do you have some, let's go back to like a regular search. Do you have some content here on the landing page that you definitely want to make sure continues to be on the landing page? Vice versa, is there stuff that you're like, why is this here? Or this is broken? Or hey, we can even run reports to find out how often people click on each one of these links. We can run reports to see how often your current filters are used. So if you're thinking that perhaps it is time for a bit of a refresh, and you want to make some changes, maybe some color changes, some logo changes, yay, now is the time. How many from what areas of campus, from what communities do you want to get some feedback? And when in your process do you want to get that feedback? It can be informal. I think a big thing that I will be emphasizing as I create promotional content for you guys to reuse is this change is really based in accessibility and usability best practices. So there's going to be people who are mad. It's not going to look the way they expect. It's the button they like has moved, but I will happily put together a nice little document that essentially is like, here's all the things that accessibility wise are so much better in NDE and why we are mandated to meet those accessibility standards. Yeah, and people are mad there's no card catalog. Like, it's been gone for how long? There's always going to be people who find transitions difficult. So the more we can anticipate what some of those kind of pain points are going to be for your community, the more I can help you communicate about those preemptively. Where are you on this help matrix? What are you thinking? This is not really like formal, but that will help as we kind of go over the spreadsheet. And then when do you want to go live? Or you're like, let's just do it, get it over with. I know I've got time during this quarter or that quarter. Or nope, I know that we're going to have a lot of people who want input. So we need to be kind of at the end. So things to think about. I am seeing some good questions come in chat. I'm going to keep going through, but I do want to address them. Next steps. Next Tuesday, I will be providing some more specific instructions around what the pre-prep or the preparation involves, and giving you some documentation, some more resources. If anyone was really new to NDE in this migration, I did not want to super deep dive today. I will also be opening up a form where you will apply for Mixpanel admin accounts. That is something that after Eluna, I had to kind of rethink the process. And to make it simple and standard and sustainable, I have centrally requested activation of your Mixpanel, what do they call them? Environment is what I'll say for now. I think project, your Mixpanel projects, so that there is like the central consortial admin on everybody's, and we're not losing access if a local person never requests it or moves out of the position. But then I will make sure that you can have as many local admins and creators or viewers as you need for your functions in your library. But it's just going to simplify it to just have me kind of go through and do it. So that form will also be coming. I've got some of the good kind of resources to take a look at. These two videos are about an hour each. You can put them on double speed and get an idea of what's going on. Known issues with NDE is part of the new support area is the known issues portal, and this is an auto filtered by things related to NDE and kind of tells you the status of things that other people are noticing. So this is a good one to bookmark because things will come up, they will get resolved, but it helps you know whether, like, am I imagining that or is it a problem? We also have the Knowledge Center Go NDE module for however long the Knowledge Center is still for Primo. Ex Libris is rolling out a new knowledge portal, which is a little bit easier to navigate, but does not actually address the currency and accuracy issues with so much of the documentation. I will reshare the link right now to these slides. I'm also going to make them a PDF and put them up. So there's a lot of stuff in here. It can quickly get overwhelming, and in typical Knowledge Center fashion, there are articles that already have outdated information and screenshots on them. Finally, there are two consortial LibGuides that I would recommend checking out. Okay. All right. So Florida Virtual Library Consortium has their migration guide available, and it is interesting because they have decided to have all 48 of their colleges go live on the exact same day in like 2 months. So their timelines, their steps are a little bit different. Obviously, they also have a much more robust central team. The Maricopa community colleges have some sparse, but it's a nice, like, basic kind of resource check-in, just to see, I'm like, am I missing anything, So this is a good one too. I also started one for us, which I'm going to show you in preview just so that all my weird stats don't get affected. So I built it out, but it is absolutely not got complete information in there. Um, as you can see, empty, lots of empty stuff. But I wanted to kind of, between the Maricopa page and the FLVC page, and conversations with individual institutions and how they're managing the process, just kind of like having someplace centralized. We'll probably add a tab in here for, promotion and education or promotion and instruction. So it is live. It's just still kind of empty. So that's that is where we're at right now. So going back to some of the questions that have popped up, let me just take a look-see. So integrating LibGuide's feature onto the landing page like a carousel. So right now, there are some libraries, East Tennessee, for example, that have put a LibGuides widget carousel onto their current Primo homepage. And they did that using some very snazzy JavaScript. That guy's a rock star. That has not yet been confirmed as adapted for the new landing page. But I am thinking that East Tennessee will be working on that. And so I am keeping an eye on it, and it is possible. So that's neat. What else? It's kind of good to have kind of both the landing page as well as like the college, library homepage, because breaches happen and systems go down. So having parallel environments is great. So covered that. Okay, so list of features that we can change and those that we do not have control over so we can communicate to stakeholders. Yes, that is exactly the kind of thing that I'm like, this would be helpful. This would be real cool if it was in one place so that our users could communicate with their stakeholders. Bobby has a great spreadsheet. Another consortium entirely put together a cool spreadsheet or list. And I am currently working on that. They have actually made changes in kind of some of the configuration options since even go live back in like November 2025 when it showed up for everyone to start testing out. So I didn't want to rush too quickly into it because I was like, this is going to change. So yes. And then, these slides, I will make into a PDF, but then a lot of these links will kind of, they're real limited in the slides, but like the Ex Libris documentation, I'll be putting all of Yoel's webinars, in here. I'll be putting the Knowledge Center articles and then the portal articles in here. There is an admin certification course for NDE available already. I'm not going to mess with it because they're just so useful. I just dive in, really. So all of the information that is in the slides is going to end up on this LibGuide. So that's where I would kind of recommend pointing people, like maybe not today, since I don't really have it together yet. But it's definitely going to get built out as we go through this process. So yeah, I hope that this was a good overview and intro point for those of you who have not had an opportunity yet to look at this too much. And for those of you who have been very curious, I hope this gave you a good, big picture of how I'd like to help you all through this process. And next week, there will be checklists and spreadsheets, and Lori and Bobby, gold stars all around, trophies, chocolates, flowers at your feet. These guys have been putting together lists of comparison views. Basically, like, here's examples of like real basic customization. Here's examples of middle-y levels. Here's advanced stuff that we can't do, but we can look at in awe. So big props. And though that kind of stuff is going to get shared next week. And so I'm really excited. Next week's open call is one that will also kind of be repeated as we go through the process. So if you're just not ready to start pre-prep yet, don't worry about it. I'm going to have another one probably in August or September, and then I'll have another one in like November or December. And every time we do it, we'll learn a little bit more. But I know that people are ready to get going. So if that's you or you just want to learn more, please join us next Tuesday at 2. And I will get this recording up as soon as I can. And let me know if you have any questions. So at 2. Thank you, Tracy. At 10. At 10. Yep, next Tuesday at 10. Alliteration is fun. All right, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next week.